Okay.
Got it?
Yeah,
You got it? You get it? I
I
don't get
got
it.
it.
Yeah,
You
why'd the
get it?
chicken cross the road?
Uh, get across the other side.
To get a Chinese translated newspaper. Do you get it?
Yeah, he found it in the balloon.
No, do you get it?
No, I
I don't
got it.
get it either. I get the regular paper from around here that's not
I, I
translated Chinese. Um,
I miss reading a newspaper.
if you find any humor in our jokes, folks, well, that's why we're here. Oh, it's 4 o'clock. Ah.
I'm in the John, the Phil and Jon Zone. I'm in the John.
He's in Key West, Florida.
Yeah, he is.
Yes, he is. He was hanging out with Keller.
Everybody.
We're in the John.
Hey, Cody.
Jon Zone, we're in the John. Let's hear it for Cody Decoff, folks.
Phil and Jon Zone. You
The
What's
one
up,
and only
Cody?
Cody. Oh, Cody, girl, you're up there in the Brody
in
hoodie.
the Phil and Jon Zone.
Well, that's it, folks. It's Thursday, February 16th, 4 o'clock p.m., and just like random nature, we come into your life like a fungus, and we grow upon you, and we become the random Phil and John zone for whenever we can freaking work it in, you know? We're going to see if we can
Yeah,
have Phil guess the song tonight. We'll have a guess the song section tonight, where Phil guesses what song I play for a few seconds and see how long it takes us to
Ooh, I'm pretty good at that.
So we'll do that a little bit later. I think we'll try
Cool.
that anyway. No guests, but we just figured since
Well,
we're doing it together and we're kind of having a little date night that we would do a show. Number 144, the gross amount of shows that you can do. It's a gross.
that's a gross. Yeah.
It's a
No,
gross.
no song. It's got to be the band.
Oh, you want to hear the music and name the band? Oh, well, we can do that.
Yeah, the songs that I'm really tough with, or years,
I'll
but
try to pick
bands,
up.
yeah,
Well, like, are you
couple
good with
notes I
are
can
are
tell
you
what
good with
band
the
it is.
songs from the 2010s?
But I could try the other thing.
But we'll come back to that later. The Best of Rock 1970 will be our first category. We'll both be able to answer anything. There's a teaser. As a teaser, Phil's gonna go solid Frozen for us, folks, in the show tonight. We didn't announce this show. I made no announcement that it would happen today. This is just a let's see what we can do show. You got it. You're back. I don't know
Yeah,
what's going on there, but you're back.
it
And
might be. I think it could be something that's going on upstairs.
no, if somebody's using a lot of internet in your house, maybe that can cause it sometimes.
Vacuum cleaner.
Oh, the vacuum cleaner that could cause. Remember when
Oh,
vacuum cleaners make the
I think she's
TV all
carpet.
messed up?
Got a new Barta carpet shampoo from my mom. It's pretty cool, really compact. That could be it. It's off now. If it goes back on and we cut off, then I'll tell her to wait.
I don't know if that works like that, like it used to. Like it used to work like that when you turn the vacuum cleaner on, the TV would scramble. Remember
Oh
that?
yeah.
The motor running and the TV antenna would somehow interact with each other to where the TV image would scramble. Most people
Yeah.
can't really appreciate that anymore. I don't think. I don't know if that really happens anymore. But if your internet's going down when your vacuum's on, it means you got a internet-based vacuum cleaner.
Everything's internet based.
You get an email when you're done. It's like, okay, you're done. Actually, if you got a Roomba, they do email you and tell you you're done. You know.
Yeah. Well, it's great to talk to you again, and far and few between. Even though when we do have our so-called date night, anyways, me and John talk for 2, 3, 4, 5 hours.
It could happen tonight after the show. There's a chance
It
we may
could.
do a
Well,
short
I
show and
am
then we
going
may
to
just hang
be
out and paint and stuff because you're supposed to be painting.
100%.
I've got some blank canvas on the griddle over here.
Yeah, I'm doing a bunch of stuff for.
What do you got coming up?
I think I'm going to snowshoe this Saturday. I'm going. I'll be vending some artwork there,
You are
and
going.
I'm going, and I'm doing some old stuff that I'm finishing up. The best of snowshoe. Well,
Good show.
Drew Emmett Band, 30 dB. They're all on bananas. They're not quite done. I'm working on, and Melvin Seals with Elephant Revival, Old Shoe, Jeff Austin, Grateful Ball, Wood Brothers, Leftover Salmon. But
Some of those.
anyway, that's what I am doing. And I'm going to be painting tonight. So if you want to hang out, I think we're going to have an extended, you have to sign a waiver for the after show.
Right. It may not be as politically correct as our during show.
It usually isn't after about 5 o'clock. So
I'm just trying to send this out to a couple places. An NFT site, because we're basically an NFT. What you're watching is an NFT. It's a non-fungible token that you can we could sell it. We could say it has a value, but it's just going to happen once tonight.
what?
Shane Lyle needs a Primus or Les Claypool album. So if you're
Shane's
taking
watching?
requests, yeah,
Hey Shane, you coming out tomorrow? I mean Saturday?
kind of looks like he is, man. Looks like he's getting excited about it, and he's trying to he's pumping up the volume over here on the like meter, and so
It,
we
the
have
copies
missed
don't
you
look
guys
too
too. We've missed everybody in our.
Yeah, I miss a lot of I'm super stoked and psyched to see a lot of friends at Snowshoe. I'm super psyched. I don't know. I'm over psyched. So yeah, the Cubbies look pretty good this year, Shane.
This
I
ain't
like
Sports
their
Minute.
acquisition. No, not yet. He's a big Cubby fan like I am. And I miss him and Kentucky Kid Elizabeth and good people.
Speaking of Cubbies, how about them Ravens? Oh no, the Chiefs. That was the name of the team.
Yeah, Super Bowl. Yeah.
It was pretty cool. My favorite commercial was the one where it looked like you were changing channels. And so it went to a commercial where it looked like somebody paused the game and then switched to like a online service and started to pick out a movie. And the whole room I was in started going nuts, like somebody was changing the channel. And they started throwing a fit. It turns out it was just a commercial. That's my favorite one that I saw. Because it made you think somebody was changing the channel, but they weren't. And in the middle of the game, when somebody changes the channel, they get their ass beat, probably. You know?
Yeah. Unfortunately, this Super Bowl is probably the first that I can remember. I had to work, so I didn't see any of the Super Bowl, even though I recorded it.
Wow.
I had
Yeah.
to work the whole Super Bowl, and I recorded it, but I knew the score. I don't like watching a replay of a sporting event per
And it was
se.
kind of I don't want to call it a shit game, but it was a game where
Well, it was good,
it
and
was a
what
good
felt
game
best-
in that whoever got the ball last won the game. I mean, even I can say that as a non-football fan.
Yeah, I did go through the fast forward. I did hit a parlay, if anybody wants to know, and I would hit a triple parlay if Devontae Smith would have scored and he fell down or out of bounds. So anyway, that was my damn it, but I did good.
One of the girls where I was watching the game at had a whole bunch of bets on FanDuel or whatever.
I did, yeah.
And she had just, instead of watching the game, she watched her laptop the whole time. But then she didn't win, but she was so excited because she almost got a parlay, and it was like this close. And the third
Right.
item would have been a second Kelsey touchdown. He didn't get it. And
Yeah.
listen to me talking like I know what I'm doing here.
Yeah, you do.
I watched a game.
I'm
I'm
rubbing
in.
off
I'm in the
on you.
club. Although as watching the game, I realized I'm not in the club. I don't know what I'm talking about or what I'm doing
Here's
there.
John.
What I should be rooting for or not rooting for. I picked the team that had the cool green uniforms,
Yeah, Devontae
the
Smith.
bird logo,
Yeah.
But I was there. I experienced part of it, I think that but we shouldn't get too off subject yet. People are expecting us to do our normal stuff that we do on the show. So bust right into 5 records, folks. We'll talk about me and Phil love collecting records. He paints on them. I listen to them. He listens to them too. Today I listened to a Police album, Zenyatta Mandata. It's good. Put that one on the player. And I was almost thinking that I should go buy some more records, but I don't really need any more records. I need a receiver first. Anybody got a receiver out there that they're willing to just part with? A cool old Magnavox solid state receiver, and you can just give it right to me. I'd love it. I'd love it. So I picked out 5 records though, and they were all ones you've probably seen before, but they were ones that touched my eyes tonight that made me think of how much I love music, and so some of the cool stuff I get to be part of. This one here is about this. It's called The Nails. The album's called Mood Swing. And I don't know if I mentioned this to you before because you'd never heard the song 88 Lines About 44 Women. Anyway,
No.
a band out of the 80s, late 70s, early 80s called The Nails. It's kind of very good condition.
Yeah.
But the images of these crazy like biker cop girls that are like arresting somebody for being on a scooter, having a scooter wreck. I think that's great artwork. But if you've never heard The Nails, just look up 88 Lines About 44 Women. You probably recognize it. Laura might know who it is. I don't know. We'll see. It's kind of our genre. Before I discovered REM, The Nails were one of the first bands that I heard that was like weird, and they sang about stuff that wasn't really cool, and they didn't really sing, So I thought that was pretty cool. To check out the Nails if you get a chance. Great artwork again.
Yeah,
Picture of the band. It looks like the Dead Boys, but it's not the Dead Boys.
yeah, we like a lot of bizarre stuff. I'll put on something and she'll freak out and vice versa. First album I got is Supertramp. I love the band. I love the simplistic cover. But the funny thing, you know who produced this album? Peter Frampton.
Nice.
Yeah, so and I like the cool cover.
A lot of times those musicians we lose track of they disappear out of the scene. They end up recording albums. John Paul Jones did a bunch of records for different bands and different kinds of music too, which I think is pretty cool.
Peter Frampton, my first big concert I've ever seen in my life.
I heard this week that Roger Waters re-recorded Dark Side of the Moon without the band, so he could have the rights to the music again, full rights to the music. So he recorded, I think it was Dark Side of the Moon or The Wall. I think it was Dark Side of the Moon. Anyway, he recorded one of the albums because the band wanted too much money for their share of it, and he wanted to have his own version he could sell that would keep just the money in his pocket because it's Roger Waters. Why would you do such a dumb shit thing?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's still one of my favorite records because a dog sings on it. The album's called Metal. It's by Pink Floyd. Meddle. Before they were Metal. Great image on the inside of these guys. Very, very, very Echoes-esque. Live in Pompeii, time of their career.
I don't have that one because
I stole it from my grandpa. We went there on a vacation, and for some reason, I stole his copy of Pink Floyd Metal.
You borrowed.
Because my grandpa was kind of an outlaw, and he taught me about that kind of stuff. And I think I got that from him. It was one of the last things I ever stole from somebody. I didn't really steal it. I just borrowed it, and I still have it. And he's gone, so he would appreciate that I still have it. But it's a great album. It's got a dog named Samus on it that sings. And one whole side of the album is one song, Echoes. So if you're familiar with Pink Floyd, check them out. They're from Britain. Oh, these last three are good. Okay, there we go. 1, 2, 3. All right.
One of my early favorite albums, Kansas, Left Overture, and Carry On My Word Son. It just, I like listening to old classic rock on the radio. Yeah.
In that picture on the album cover, he's writing like the Ten Commandments or something kind of, or he's writing the.
Yeah, it's great artwork.
He's an old time wise man.
Simplistic.
Oh, it's great. It's painted too. It's probably a painted piece back then. It wasn't digital. They had to make that with a.
It looks like a Roger Dean, who was artist. I need my bifocals or magnifying glass.
Watching a lot of old stuff and looking at these old records, it's great to think how the artwork had to come to fruition. Because they couldn't just, some of it's a picture, but most of it had to be produced some other way. It had to be photography trick or like a actual painting, a picture of a painting, things like that, This one here is I kind of thought it was a painting for a long time, but it's a photograph of Ian Anderson. He says, hey,
one of my favorite albums, Johnny boy.
Let me bring you songs from the wood to make you feel much better than you ever know.
It's funny. A lot of people don't. That's one of my favorite albums, and I probably can sing all the songs on the whole album. That's how much I listened to it back in the day. And it's a tough album to get. You can't really get that album, Johnny.
And it's not all their hits. You got the Whistler on there.
No, it's just the Whistler.
I love the Green songs. They're really none of the hits. This wasn't the album that made him famous by any means. Not Aqualung.
No. See, I like that way better. That's an album that's by far when you grow up and that's that time, that was one of my albums.
And he got me interested in like different kinds of performance because that flute that he played was different, didn't fit in a lot of this other music that we listened to, so it made it really.
No, that's Ian Anderson.
I got his autograph downstairs.
Martin Bear.
I have his autograph and Martin's autograph on my ticket downstairs. They were the last two performing members when I saw Jethro Tull last time.
One of my favorite albums, Johnny boy. Top 10.
We went to that concert too early and we couldn't get into the venue, and they're like, well, there's a place to eat around the corner. It was like a TGI Fridays. And so we went to TGI Fridays to eat, and in the middle of our dinner, they made an announcement that said that Ian Anderson was going to come in and sign autographs, but not to shake his hand. And he sat down right across from our table and started signing autographs. And we got to say hi to him and not shake his hand, but get his autograph on our ticket stub and stuff like that, Seems pretty cool. And at the time, I was like, this is cool, but I don't know how cool it is. Now I'm like, damn, that was cool. We met Ian Anderson at TGI Fridays, or Dave and Buster's, one of those places. Hey, Jeffrey Blackmon. Hey, Tommy Dean. What's going on out there?
Hey,
Good to see
Tommy
you.
Dean, I'm going to see you
Glenn.
this weekend. Hey, Jeffrey.
We're in the middle of 5 records. If you're just tuning in, folks, we like to show 5 of our favorite records, and I think Phil's up now.
Yeah, but about shaking hands, I'm a lifetime member of ZZ Top. I went to get backstage and meet them, and part of the thing was I can go on about that, but you cannot shake their hands. There's like a rope. They can be right in front and do not shake their hands.
It's their money. Can you imagine if some jackass with a real heavy handshake shakes Ian Anderson's hand and breaks his pinky, and then he can't loot?
True.
You know, or you couldn't.
And backstage they had Heinekens and cake and desserts, and you had to wait an hour and a half.
I've never heard that about you, that you had backstage passes to ZZ Top before.
Are you? Yeah, right. All right, enough.
It's one of your
Right.
favorite things to tell us. I know it's okay.
Alvin and
all
Chipmunks,
sing with the
just for
Chipmunks.
you. The cover is really cool. It's metallic. It's real thick, and it's like 70 years old or whatever.
That is really cool.
It is really cool. I know you liked it. You can't have it.
The guy that decided to switch his record player to 72 and sell the record. That's awesome.
Okay,
This one fits right in that same genre. Are we not men?
We are Devo.
We are Devo. I don't know if it didn't change my life, but this was an album that really touched me as a kid. And it's a cutout. It's got the little slice where they would saw all the records so they could prove they were the offshoot records or the last of the bin. I think I bought it for like $1 because back then I would just buy records for $1. And but I got into Devo. I got this one and I got another one that's a live album. It's really good. It's a concert album of Devo, and they were like pre-Fish storytellers, kind of like they're telling stories about a whole different concept or philosophy of life.
Oh
Basically.
yeah, they're deep in it. Listen to them now. I mean, that's a great album. That's a great
And
album.
almost everything you watch on TV in some way or another has been touched by Mark Mothersbaugh now. All the cartoons, all the background tracks. If it's not Danny Elfman from Oingo Boingo, it's Mark Mothersbaugh from Devo that's making all this background music. And tons of commercials.
You see a lot of movies, music by Danny Elfman.
But you see a lot of Mark Mothersbaugh is the singer of Devo. And he produces, or he was like the lead producer of Devo. I don't know if there was really a singer, because you had the baby guy, you had the slick-haired guy, you had the leader guy, and you had the weirdo guy. There were like 4 different. Weird Bob was his name. Weird Bob.
420. Hey, dude.
Yeah, it's 420. 420, folks. Put on your Devo records. Get up and dance. Whip it.
Whip it good.
Slap your mammy, if you know what I'm talking about. That's
Yeah.
the song of this album. Slap your mammy. A gut feeling. Uncontrollable urge, which we all know from the.
That's a great song.
Yeah. Now TV's got it. You know, it's all over the place.
I'll do a quick one here.
Do that. Can you do the yeah?
Yeah. Here's the Rolling Stones by fourth album, real quick.
Yeah. With the zipper open.
Yeah, it opens.
Somebody referred to my Ripped painting this week as the Sick Fingers album. Yeah. Is there a penis in there? Is there a penis inside the zipper? Okay, good. This one goes back. This is one I got from you, I think, that you were just going to get rid of one day when we were going through records, and I had to take it, and it's actually turned out to be pretty fantastic record. It's UTFO, which the song's called Roxanne. Now, when hip hop music when first, you might have given me this one. I could have got it out of a bin.
Okay.
It's one of those ones that you would have been like, I don't need that. I don't want that necessarily. It's pretty thick though. But when rap music first started, there was Grandmaster Flash, then The Message, and there was Africa Bambaataa did some DJ stuff, and then there was UTFO, and they did the album Roxanne. And there was a whole album called Roxanne, and it was about every song had Roxanne in the title because they could rap the word Roxanne really easily into their raps, I guess. I don't know why, but Roxanne was like
Roxanne.
and I don't think they even used I have to listen to it again, but I don't think they used the sample from Roxanne. I think it was just about this girl named Roxanne. And then there was one song called Roxanne's a Man. And there was Roxanne, Don't You Understand? And there was Roxanne, there was Roxanne. All the songs in the album were based off that name, though. And so this is kind of an early hip-hop pioneer record, if you will, of like before it really got big. But it was actually produced. And they put the same art on the back as they put on the front. They were such a cheap budget, they just used the same artwork for the front and the back.
Oh, that's cool.
It says "Bust This," and it's got the liner notes are just nothing. That's it. And there's an address. You could write them a letter to UTFO. There's their address, so you could write them a letter. on Broadway in New York, New York. Probably a post office, but pretty cool though.
Very cool.
I think it's pretty cool. It's history of hip hop music right there. Pre Beastie Boys, like Prince was still big. Prince was still doing his thing before rap really had taken off and Roxanne had come out. So I think I got that from you. It might have been in one of those bins or just in some when we went through a whole bunch.
I got a lot from quite a good friends at record stores, audiophiles, and
I love records, man.
Yeah.
I just want to get some more out. There's so many. I could do 500 records in one night.
Yep. I'm just going. I've been in the studio a while. Here's my last one. I just like all the stickers on it. The Honey Drippers with Robert Plant. But seal up Rolling Stone record store. I used to go there back when I was a kid, $4.99. I love the stickers. I keep them on with the plastic.
Yeah, the stickers are cool.
And just the thought of, some record, $1.99. So that's pretty cool. The Honey
Stickers when you produce records, stickers are an afterthought because they get the record back from the printer or producer and they go, you know what, we forgot to say on the album cover, we forgot to say something, so they buy the sticker. Yeah, it'll say like contains the hit, Purple Rain, or it'll say, dance with your friends to this jam,
Yeah, they won't do it anymore because it costs too much.
Well, we just did it on the Todd Snyder album because we forgot to say something, but we forgot to say it was going to be purple.
Okay, have you met Todd Snyder yet?
So the sticker said purple vinyl inside, something like that. Anyway, folks, that's 5 records. Hope you enjoyed your 420. It's 421 now on a Thursday night, February 16th. Show 144, a really gross show. But you know what? Everything's a little gross sometimes. Did you ever hear a tree fall in the forest when you weren't around it? No, you didn't. You got to be there for the sound to be important. So we need people to listen and watch the show for it to matter. Otherwise, it's a tree in the forest that nobody sees and nobody hears. But at 144 weeks, I've kind of missed it these last couple of weeks. I know our schedule's been off, and we haven't been a regular event. We have been Fridays, and like last week on Friday, I was like, my lip was all sticking out like real far and stuff, and I was like, there was no show, and it wasn't this. It wasn't like, oh, we have to do this show. Oh, COVID. It was this. It was like, I missed it, and so we had to come back and do this show, and we weren't even gonna do it. We were just gonna hang out tonight and talk. So we'll do a show for you for a little while.
For a little while.
You want to come on the show, just send something in the messenger or whatever, or say something in the comments.
No, I got to do some painting tonight.
Bring you on. Phil's got to paint.
So do you.
Smart. I've got a lot of digital work to do tonight to work on.
Hey, don't drop anything into the canvas. You might split it in half.
Yeah. I have to write something inspirational about it for everybody to read and get excited about. And it turned out pretty good. That was a good experience. And then Pete Bocek bought the painting. So I went to Pete. Pete always.
You can close your eyes. Everybody who's going to Snowshoe, raise their hand. Everybody's going to Shoe Fest, raise their hand.
Who's going to Blue Ox, raise your hand. Everybody's going to John Griffin's party. Don't forget about that one. We'll make it fit in your schedule. That's not till June. Oh, look at that. That's nice. Look at the way the wings are. The wings are growing back, folks. I'm growing the wings
too. Oh, yeah.
It makes me feel comfortable when I grow the wings.
Oh, great. Now even more wings.
Hey, Katie. Who's she saying hi to? Who's watching? Nick Hinkle's watching. Catherine Elizabeth. Katie's watching. Oh, let's hear the story about Katie and those guys and Darren and everybody who came and saw us in Decatur a few weeks ago at the Masonic Temple.
Is any of the Bubble Crew coming to us?
We haven't had a show since then, but I wanted to reach out, especially since Katie's out there, to say thank you for coming to that and how cool it was to see everybody and how you all made me feel and the dancing and stuff. And me and Katie, we shook our shit. Katie. It was awesome.
They're good people, man.
And we all danced and Darren was kept trying to give me vitamins, and I was, no, I'm not taking vitamins. He said they're only 0.4s or some shit. I'm like, I don't take
point me in the right direction, but I'm going in the wrong direction.
But it was a really good night of music and a great room, and it was fun. I couldn't believe all you guys came out. That was really cool to see Chad and Brandon and everybody. And we have
great friends in the right places, but Jesus.
Need to kind of intersperse that throughout winter, where we do that enough times throughout winter, we don't really realize it's even winter. We just keep seeing our friends and bumping into good things and seeing music and doing what we can, I mean, that's what it's all about. Talked to Don Black briefly this week, but we need to get him on the show pretty soon. Excuse me.
I feel like going to a festival or some parties and have a Hannibal Lecter mask on. Don't give me anything. I'm not gonna, face mask me.
We don't need to be. We're old people. We don't need to be handed things we don't. We don't really want to need to
No,
be.
I know.
We probably already have. We already have our channel set.
I
Well, here's what I think. Like we set our channels for a lot of years doing those things, and then you kind of know how to switch your channel off and on whenever you need to switch the channel off and on. We don't need to be induced or endorsed for that matter. Spent the whole night last night or night before last watching old Grateful Dead clips from them playing live with Jerry and Brent and older stuff, mostly from the Brent era.
Yeah, I saw Brett's last show in Tinley Park. Wow. Next day.
Yeah, I would have liked to have been at that event. There's some really cool recorded stuff, and watch them play those songs and the music. And think about the crowd they're playing to is so big, because they always show from their perspective. Like the only time you ever see the crowd in those videos, they'll show like the back of Brent and they'll look out and see the crowd, and the whole stadium's full of thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of people, and they're all just dancing and having a good time. That's a pretty amazing feeling, folks.
Yeah, 17th row in the pavilion, man. He was, I remember that.
Wow.
One of my 13 Dead shows.
I never got closer than the back of the pavilion in any of the Dead shows I went to. I was a lawn seat guy. I didn't try to sneak up there. But then I thought you couldn't. There's no way you could get away with it. Now I know you probably can.
But the funny part was, there were people were dancing, but the aisles, the security would not let people dance in the aisles per se. But you look back and it was just the Dead show, because it was like, well, whatever.
We went to a Beastie Boys show and they wouldn't let us get in the aisles at all. So everybody was kind of trying to dance in their seat, but it really killed the mojo.
It kills the whole vibe
of the event. You got to be able to dance. I'd rather have an open floor, an open field than a bunch of seats any day.
Yeah, just like a shoe fest. We can do
shoe fest or the Canopy Club or the venue or the Castle Theaters usually like that too. Or it's just open, go be where you want to be and have a good time. I got my eyes itching today. I got allergies or something. I don't know. It's raining here today. It's been kind of gloomy all day.
We got sleet. I'm gonna have to take a break for 2 minutes.
Did not see the sunshine today, folks. But okay, you go take a break for 2 minutes. I'll see if I can round up a guest. No, I don't think we're gonna round up a guest tonight. We're not gonna try too hard. We want to have Matt come on and talk about Shoe Fest, but not for a little while. And I've got my friend Marshall Ingrassi who wants to come on and talk about happy trails he's doing. I know I'm getting ready to do the Rumble Down artwork for Rumble Down for the Rumble Down Festival, which is quite a good list of people playing at that one, from Backyard Tire Fire to the Big Woo to Sunshine Daydream, Henhouse Prowlers, Rumpke Mountain Boys, Cluster Pluck, Pete Jive, and that is a list right there. That's a pretty heavy duty list, and I can't wait for that. So shout out to Florida. What's up, Florida? Florida from the Jeffersons? Wasn't her name Florida? Anyway, too much information probably. But information overload. Phil's gone. Phil walked on me. He's had to go pee or something. That's all right. So he'll be right back. Yeah, Rumble Down be there. That's right. Yeah, we had Bubbles at Rumble Down. We had Bubbles at a lot of stuff this summer. I can only wait for the Bubble van to show up. When he pulls in, I've been at festivals by myself before, folks, and you go there and you really don't know anybody, and you kind of feel awkward, and you're setting your stuff up, and you don't know how people are going to react to what you're doing, and then next thing you know, you're making new friends, and then and you're just feeling a little bit better, and then you're like, I don't know, it's still gonna be weird, and then all of a sudden there comes the Bubble van driving in, and it turns into the most awesome. Yeah, we tried to get Chicago Farmer tonight, but he's in Key West. We already kind of discussed that. Cody's in Key West tonight, so good on him to be out there traveling and having a good time. We miss you, Cody. We're glad you're down there getting some sun on your face, though. Everybody needs that. And my son just got home. Is that you, Patrick? Hey, bud. He went in his room, shut his door. He's done with me for the night already. That's okay. So we're doing these random shows now. They're just going to be random. We're going to do them whenever we get the opportunity to, or whenever we feel like somebody might be listening out there and checking it out. And say we didn't do it for a couple weeks, and I actually heard from a couple people what was going on and where were we and when was the next show, and I didn't know what to tell them, because Phil just kind of gets a hold of me during the day whenever he has a day off and we can do this. And thought about doing a late night show, but by late night, neither one of us are worthy of talking live to people probably. It is another day in paradise, Chris Johnson. Good to see you out there, bud. Anybody got a joke or a question for Phil? Let me know now. I'll try to come up with something clever to say about him when he comes back, but I can't guarantee anything. And he just disappeared. He just left the room, so he's back. That's so weird. He's getting like this internet frequency, the ice storm. I bet if there's ice up there, there's a chance they could lose their power on their internet at any given moment. So I'm just lucky to have every moment I have with Phil. I had a journal entry a few weeks ago on a Friday night after me and Phil talked and we did the show and we laughed and and we cracked ourselves up, and we talked about music, and we smiled. And after the show, I went to my journal and I wrote a story about how much I hope there's a lot more Fridays to do. And I wrote that shit down, and then like instantly after writing down that there's a lot more Fridays that me and Phil can do our show, he couldn't do Fridays anymore. And so I don't say that. I'll do that kind of stuff. I'm lucky to have every minute I get with my buddies, and every minute we get with each other around this world. So when he comes back, we'll ask him a question. I'll try to be original. We already talked about sports. Jeez, that was over a minute already. But so it's the way it goes. That's the show. That's how we do it. And I want to see who just checked in here. Bird Dogs. Good to see Bird Dogs out there. Tommy Evan, Bev River. How you guys doing out there? Good to see you. Thanks for checking on the Phil and Jon Zone. If you're unfamiliar with what the Phil and Jon Zone is, well, there's about 115 videos on YouTube. You can go back and watch and get a recap if you want to. Some of it's quite embarrassing. Some of it's pretty neat. Some of it I would go back and do again. We've had some really great shows. We've had some really pretty lame shows.
All right,
We've done 144 shows. So in 144 of anything, I mean, the Grateful Dead played 144 concerts. Some of them weren't that great.
Oh, no. Most of them were, well, it is what it is.
Questionable, I guess.
Yeah, some were. Mostly by me, but that's fine.
Chris Johnson wants to know if you've done anything for your garden yet this year.
No, Chris. Matter of fact, I'm super psyched. The garden's all ready. The seeds I looked at, we Menards picked up some. Yeah, I'm super. No, I have not. And why was that clicking?
I don't know. Laura's trying to get us to get Cody and Kimber. We should have had them do a beach report, but then we'd all be jealous and we'd look out our windows and be all gloomy.
No, I already am jealous. They were hanging with Kelly.
Cody'd be like out there in the sun getting. He's like, oh, I had to put on extra sunscreen today.
Yeah, I'm psyched for the garden, Chris.
Yeah.
Big time. Oh, my gourds. Yeah, I showed them last week. They're, man, gonna be beautiful. Super psyched. There's another Zoo Funk U. I get a lot of Shoe Fest albums that I'll have at Snowshoe this weekend.
Yeah.
All sorts of cool stuff. I'm so stoked to see friends and go there early. Grab a bite to eat. It's going to be sold out. Grab a table. It's if you've never been there.
So I guess I should ask you, like, how was your Valentine's Day? I talked to you a little bit on Valentine's Day.
Yeah, funny. It was awesome. Exactly what happened. I made a great meal. And hi, Chester Bear. Come on. You want to come up? Come on. You want to say hello?
Chester?
There's Chester.
Chester.
Scooby, look out here. Scooby, look.
Look,
Look, Scooby. Chester.
Chester.
Scooby. That's Scoops. Hi, Scoops. What's going on, man? That's Scoops.
That's my boy. That's Scooby Doo.
That's Chester Berry.
Yeah, he's checking on his old man. I'm doing good, Scooby. I'm doing good, buddy.
We're on TV show.
Checking in.
We're on TV show.
Okay. Hey, there's Sheila Whitaker. How you doing, Sheila? Good to see you.
Hey, Sheila.
Everybody,
Sheila.
Checking in. Yeah, so it was Valentine's Day. It was pretty.
Yeah, I made a nice seafood dinner. Been watching old Survivor, so we get into some Netflix stuff and had a good night.
I watched a documentary about the Apollo Theater this weekend in New York City. First black owned operated entertained theater in New York City. Wonderful stuff from Aretha Franklin to Nina Simone to James Brown to amazing period of time. They were allowed to play the music in that particular place in a lot of ways. Great video. And then after that, I watched a whole documentary on Mavis Staples. I got drawn into past the Apollo and watched the documentary about Mavis Staples, and that was really good too. She's I get to
performer. Be in the same room with Mavis and Lonnie and Beck and Eddie Clearwater.
And her brother's name was Purvey. Poor guy. His brother's name was Purvey.
Another documentary, which I like watching bizarre stuff on.
I think that was what it was.
9/11 from the beginning. Great footage. How it just the pre and
I can still watch that one in my head.
Wow.
Yeah, I can watch that one. That one's in there too.
New one. I love real footage from. Yeah, it's really good. But 9/11, crazy.
Working on Todd Snyder's new record this week. He's releasing a.
Have you met him yet?
No. Don't know if I want to meet him. I saw pictures of people hanging out with him. He just didn't look like he was having that good a time. But we're working on his new album. It's about it's a recording from like 2007 of a concert he did that was really good, and he was going to release it on album and decided not to. And I'm guessing he has this, he has need for money too. So at some point when they said, "Do you want to release it now?" He's like, "Well, yeah, let's release it now." And so we're releasing it in a few weeks, and I just got all the right before we went on the show. I got all this stuff that was like the templates, the label sticker, the all this stuff for it. So we're actually going to put a sticker on that album, but I got to do a CD cover and a DVD
Okay.
cover, or a CD cover and an album cover for him. So that's this week's pavement. And they're doing a special release album for the Band of Heathens for their Patreon subscribers that only they're going to get, and it's just two of the Heathens doing a solo album together, or a partial Heathens album. So working on that too. It's coming out next year probably or something.
Yeah, tell all the bands that you work for, more tchotchkes the better. Even though you're going to do the cover or whatever you do to sleep, tell them to put a sticker on the, like I showed you, and
Yeah.
put a sticker. It pops, right? Just a
Mhm.
sticker. How much is that? More.
We have done that on some of the albums. I think, like I said, that's kind of an afterthought they have where we have to add something else to the information, and so we put the sticker on there. But I never, if there's a sticker on this plastic, I'm way more careful opening the record. I should be careful opening every record because I should just open the plastic, leave it on there, and slide the record out. But if there's no sticker on there, a lot of times I'll just rip the plastic off without even thinking. And hey, there's Jimmy Mead. How you doing, Jimmy? Good to see you out there, bud. I'm glad you're back on your feet again, back home. Jimmy Mead had some health issues this last month or so, and everybody's been thinking positive for him. They had him stayed up in one of these hospitals,
Mr. No.
and so we're glad to see you out there watching the show tonight, Jimmy. That's good to see you, bud. Hopefully everything's going good for you in your therapy and physical therapy, and everything is going positive. That's wonderful to see you out there. Jimmy Mead, Big Jim,
Yes.
white
Yes.
beard, little hat. You always see him looking pretty sharp. Plays a lot of guitar.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's a quick medical report on Jimmy. Good job, Jimmy. Welcome back. Too much information, I'm sure, but
Yeah, be careful out there in the northern suburbs. I was just out in the backyard. It's like a quarter inch of sleet and ice, and
they're calling for a wintry mix all the way down to us. So it's going to get funky for a minute before
it's going to get real fun. It's funky right now.
But we're getting the wintry mix with no precipitation though, so it's
It's
just
still February. We missed winter.
yeah. We haven't had a hard winter week yet. We've had a couple of winter days, but the fact that there's not been major snow in or anything yet,
I love the backyard with the thin sheet of snow. You can see the paw prints. There was like two different ones, whether it be a squirrel, you can hear the woodpecker and the cardinal. Phil, feed me. Seriously, I come out. The woodpecker comes down and says, "Come on."
Saw a flock of geese yesterday that was flying over the head, and instead of being one big V, it was a whole bunch of V's that were all put together, and it looked like a lattice. They looked like a grid across the sky of these birds. There were so many. There had to be 1,000 of them. Had to be 1,000 birds. And couldn't take a picture of it. Got the binoculars out, make sure they were geese. It was cool. And you'll
Yeah.
see in the when you're watching them fly, when it's something they do with their wings, where one of the birds, like every 10 or 12 birds, there's a bird that looks like it's black.
Mhm.
Whatever they're doing, the other birds reflect white, and then this one bird in part of the V reflects black from when you look up to them. So I'm thinking it's some kind of thing they do with their feathers, or maybe he's flying upside down, showing off.
Yeah, I do observe them too, John. That's pretty weird. I live a mile from the Fox River, and there's so many different birds. I researched it because I've seen bizarre birds that shouldn't be here. It's their migration from Canada to the Fox River because a nice tributary, and then they go south. I was at a friend's house today, matter of fact, who is by the Fox River. And I'm like, what? It was a crane, in the river, and it was pretty cool. So there's a lot of I like yeah.
I like birds. We're starting to see cardinals.
I love
blue
birds, yeah.
jays, and they're coming. They're back.
I'm dead serious about the woodpecker. I go outside, he's like,
Yeah. See, holler at
Yeah,
you. Where's my
buddy.
seeds? Yeah, where's my seeds? He says.
and the Cardinals want the sunflowers, and Chester, you go by mom. He's sitting right staring. Yeah, the birds are cool. And
Have you ever ate a pigeon?
squab, probably, but
It's called
not.
squab. Yeah. I never have. I've had Cornish game hens. They're not
It's,
much bigger than a pigeon.
I probably ate everything, and I probably have, not knowing. Um,
Like when your
but
buddy
I
gives you a
hear it's
bowl of
good.
chili and
Swap.
you eat a bunch of chili and you go back for your third bowl and you're loving the chili and you're eating it up and he goes, man, that squirrel was just on the line this morning out there. It
Yeah.
was good chili though. I don't care if it was squirrel or what it was. It was
And
good.
I haven't made chili in a while. That's chili was always a festival thing, and I miss my festivals. And I'm gonna have to pick and choose this year, and it's gonna be a beautiful thing when I do it. And
We made minestrone. Speaking of cooking, we made minestrone last week. You know, like a noodles and vegetable soup. You know, and instead of putting the noodles in it, we put in tortellini, like cheese tortellini in it.
big
Oh my
fan.
god, it was so good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we like that a lot. Tonight it's gyros.
gyros, huh?
Hmm.
How do you buy that meat? Do you get pre-sliced?
No, I got a kit.
Okay, but it comes sliced.
Sliced, and you got to fry it, and I put some my home onions and doctored up, but did it, I make it like a restaurant. We got a great place called Baba's in Aurora, Montgomery. But yeah, buy the kit. If I
Yeah,
buy it more than once, it's worth it for me.
yeah, they got the one here with the spit, with the big spit where they carve it off for you, you know, and they
Well, that's the real
carve off
good
the stuff
stuff.
that's overcooked,
Yeah.
and they just get down to the real delicious stuff and cook it.
Uh,
That's good. And there's another place in town that does a gyro burger, which is a cheeseburger with gyro meat on top of it.
Never had that. It's probably
Actually, pretty good. It's a different. It's a
is it
different.
by the greasy place you took me to?
It's a different greasy place.
Oh, that was a delicious burger, dude. I'm
No, the
telling you.
Kreckles burger is the burger for Decatur.
What was it called again?
Kreckles with
Crackle.
K.
That was
K,
killer,
Kreckles.
dude. That grease
Um,
was grease, man. But
I told you don't put that. Don't set that on your jeans. Don't put
Oh,
that
that
on
was
the on the,
beautiful
on the
thing.
car interior. Just let it, because it'll soak right through. It's a good burger. I had one yesterday actually with a friend of mine.
I put my clean clothes in the attic. It's either grease or paint.
Right, right. Clean clothes.
Otherwise,
What's that? I got a brand new pair of pants. I really got to be careful keeping them just for special events. I can't wear them to the grocery store. Just got to be like, going to see mom, things like that. If you're gonna wear nice pants, because I'll get paint on them no matter what. I got paint on pretty much everything I own for sure, a little bit.
yeah.
And it's probably not going to change.
Or should it? Yeah, just leave it the way it
Well,
is.
been painting a little bit. Painted that flower. Painted some small blue pieces. Getting ready for the show this weekend.
Where are you going to
Uh,
be at, John?
this weekend is the Cluster Pluck Sunshine Daydream at the Dannenberger Family Vineyards. It's a big vineyard with a giant, big like ballroom kind of barn room in it. We're gonna put bands in there this weekend and set up some art and sell some art. Hopefully, it's only like 6 to 11. It's not really a long night. It's not a super long night. I think it's like music doesn't even start till like 7 or 7:30. But go up there for a few hours, sell some art, dance, have a good time, see Cluster Pluck, hit the washboard maybe, and see what happens from there on in. It's gotten out of whenever I go see Cluster Pluck. I don't even have to ask anymore. I asked them if I could paint on the stage. They set me up, and I brought the washboard with me. I was like, well,
Right on.
I'm here. I'm gonna be doing what I do with you guys, And I don't do that with just any band. I've had some bands where it didn't work out, or it just didn't feel good. But Cluster Pluck really they got me going. They get me driving, driving on. And so it's always the same song that I do. It's like someday there'll be 100 recordings of me doing this one song with them. But it's pretty fun.
Yeah, we try to explain what we do. We just do what we do because we do what we do.
Yeah, is there a why? Because I enjoy it, because I love music, because it makes me feel good to paint and to do art around
Do
people.
we have to give is there an explanation? No, it's just we're
Yeah, we always just leave it at it is what it is, and we get to do what we get to do. And we're lucky. We're lucky we get to do what we get to do.
yeah.
When do we get to
Speaking
do
of
it?
festivals, if you're going to Snowshoe, go early. Oh, the doors don't open. I'm sorry. But you can I shouldn't announce it actually. But if you're going to Snowshoe, if you want to get in early, I know the doors open. You can have dinner there, or you could have food there. It is a restaurant sort of thing. I think.
Yeah. Sometimes
I
that
know.
works out for the better, and sometimes it makes for a real long night when you go
I
super
shouldn't
early or
say that.
something.
Well, you could.
Well, if you go super early to a show and you're excited about the
Make a great
show, and
coffee
you wait
place
and you
or
wait
something.
and you wait and you wait for the show, by the time the show's there, you're tired, your legs hurt. I mean, I've seen opening bands that made my back just hate me because I waited for the opening
Oh,
band and just stood there and waited, and then
you know, You know who's playing it, Snowshoe? Mr. Blotto. Oh,
Yeah, I did the
Blotto.
artwork for it. I'm proud to do the artwork for it. And Matt got a hold of me a few weeks ago, and he's like, "I want to do a sold out thing over the top of it." And I didn't have time. I wasn't at the house, and he did it by himself. It turned out really good, Matt. It turned out really good.
Yeah. Originally, when you were going to come out months ago, I had told him, and he's like super cool. And
I know. He'd have me there in a second. Matt's my bro, and he had a hard week this week because they sold those tickets, and he gets the brunt of all the negative emails and negative messages.
Well,
And he had to share
I mean,
a post like telling people to be
can you
kind.
imagine? I in the last 2 days, could you?
It can't get any bigger. There's not enough parking for it to get bigger. There's just enough room in there for us all to be camp comfortably and be in space. You know, we're spoiled like rotten at this event, but it
It's
can't
more,
get much bigger. It can't grow because there's just no room. There's no place for cars. They can't make it any bigger than it is.
you can do the same thing me and John do because we have a kind heart. We don't want anything. It just happens. You can't explain it. It just happens.
If you give something of yourself without without asking for anything else,
Correct.
and you keep doing that, and you don't, and that's how you grow a kind heart. And you can. Some people have a kind heart, but they don't use it, or some people don't use it right. But and you can't use it to get things. You can't use your kindness to get things in return. That doesn't work. And if you have,
No, it doesn't work.
I mean, karma works that way, sort of. But whenever you are, if you just continue to be kind, and at one point when you're a kind person, you'll think, why isn't anything good happening to me? And then it'll just start happening. It's weird. Life is funny, you know. And if you need it to come, it comes. And if you don't need it, you'll just squander it, and it won't be worth anything to you in the long run.
You'll feel it, and we're not.
Yeah.
Why you screw up? It's just.
Yeah, we all screw up. That goes without saying. But you take what you need, and you leave the rest. And you should never have taken the very best.
Got it.
I think you leave.
Can't wait to paint in a little bit, Johnny.
So let's see what we got here. Let's see what we can do. If I can, how long will it take Phil to figure out what song I start? It's one of your favorite ones.
Reed.
Yeah, close enough. We'll give you that. Sweet Jane.
Yeah.
I saw a really good version of the Cowboy Junkies doing it recently. Where they do it on someplace in Chicago, and it really, man, it's
See,
really
I'm not
cool.
going to name the song. See,
We can name the band.
DSN.
Yeah. How about
One
this
morning. Oh, George Harrison.
Yeah. Skip way down the line here to something that. You know it.
Yeah. Make up your mind to do America.
You just said it. Almost.
The Guess Who?
Yeah, the Guess Who, American Woman.
Okay. Simon and Garfunkel, Cecilia.
Yeah.
Instant Karma's gonna get you.
Yeah. So you're good at these. This is from your genre. This is what.
Jeremiah was a bullfrog.
Yeah, I can't even let that part of it play. It'll be like, yeah, you know. Here we go. This is a little tougher. I won't know that one. There's no way I would know that one, so I won't hold you to that one.
Then what did you put it on for? Do you even know it? Oh, Beatles. Nope.
Nah, we're close. So the way the Beatles asked.
Oh, I needed one more note. No, I needed two more notes.
They're gonna pinch us if we go too far. But Beatles is the best. Is kind of the best response
Archies?
to that because it's the band that would have been the Beatles had the Beatles not been the Beatles. The Badfinger,
Well, that was a tough one.
because Badfinger was the for sure the So anyway,
Rush,
yeah,
Steely Dan.
yeah. You don't need any more than that first note. I'll take that one on one note.
All right, I'm killer at this band. Yeah, I mean Pretenders.
Yeah. Here's one. Let's see if this one here.
The Waitresses.
Yeah. So you know all the
Yeah, the Waitresses I seen in Madison, Wisconsin, my freshman year in college. My buddy went to Madtown. We saw the Waitresses, and then the next night we saw Joe Jackson and the Talking Heads. Man,
Yeah. That's a tough one because that don't sound like the band at all.
well,
I'll skip forward. So it's Career Opportunities by The Clash, but it's sung by little kids. I'm adding that to the list. That's weird. And there's always, this is a good one. That could go a whole bunch of different ways. If I give you one more note, you'd know. Oh, you're frozen again? All right, we're getting pinched on sound, folks. We're not going to push it too hard. He's in the middle of what would be called an ice storm. So. Well, while Phil's in Frozen, his ice storm up there is a lot colder. He lives way up in the Great White North, up there with our good friends. Hey, Nancy Fine, how you doing out there? Good to see you on the feed today. Doing a show at random here, show 144. Probably won't be about an hour-long show. We'll see. We haven't talked about the alphabet game or anything like that. What would even do with if we had time to do more, you know? And he gets up and goes take a pee. Yeah, that's great. The song, the mystery song in the back there, is I gonna go this one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ready? Yeah, Johnny and Joey Ramone, and the Ramones, Rock and Roll High School, folks. A very, very big one. Man, that's one I didn't think was even man. Definitely gonna pinch us for that one. Here, let's just let them see what they got on us. We don't own the rights to any of the music, folks. It just happens to be in the background so we can keep ourselves busy. He had to go to the bathroom. We're gonna check in with station identification here real quick. Here's our PSA from Joan Jett.
all right, we had a reboot.
Yeah, I saw that. Did everything break in the whole house or something?
What?
Huh?
The storm could be nuking.
Well, it's a good chance in an ice storm that you lose power, internet, or something. It's just part of the. Everything comes in
I'm
through
back.
wires, you know. Still
More songs.
More songs.
No, good.
I was gonna try to trick you out on some stuff you wouldn't know.
Oh, you could trick me. That's for sure. Elvis.
That's tough.
Costello?
It's Jim Carroll band, but the song's called "People Who Died." People Who Died.
Yeah, I know that song too.
While we're
Yeah.
going ahead and
70s, 80s, and then punk kind of thing. I know.
you don't know this one because it's the Nails.
Oh. That was one note for 5 seconds.
Turning sex into a song. Kamala
Sounds like cake.
sang, kept the beat, kept it strong.
Now you're throwing. Now, did you hear her?
Love is a guy that thinks he's flying this all
TLC. Scrubs.
No, come on. What are you doing to me?
There we go. This was the list I was looking for right here.
Yep. That's Mr. Jon.
See, this is too
Yeah, I mean, it's too easy. I mean, it's too one note. Yeah. Deep Purple.
Nah, I'm proud of you on that one.
Highwood Star. Great song. Alice?
Alice.
Yep, that's my era. I mean, I love
Every one of their best songs.
it. Toys.
That record has Sweet Emotion and Walk This Way on it. That's an album.
Listen, I mean, right there with that jam right there. Toy. I mean, it's right there. See, that's a tough lick, man. That's a tough lick.
Aren't you the one that said that maybe the Aerosmith was
Voices
one of the best?
scream nothing me. Yeah, that's killer. That's raw. Bands do that. I mean, that's Rush.
Yeah.
Rush.
I wish we could just play this music straight through, folks. I'm sure they'll probably get
I
us
got
off
to
on-
see him 5 times, 2 times, 2 nights in a row, and it was unbelievable. Kiss,
Who, Fish?
Kiss. Saw Kiss back up Rolling Stones, and Kiss blew away Rolling Stones.
I am just a cowboy.
Then Lizzie, Phil Lynott,
I'm really mad at myself right now because that song's not in my playlist. Oh, that's a good one.
killer, and they just Warner.
Foreigner. Can you be in a band called Foreigner nowadays?
Seen them a few times. I mean, all these bands you're playing, I see if they're not my age or but they're all classics because
Don't you have to go there?
Cat Scratch, Ted, right there.
It was my yeah, very nice. Yeah, my Valentine's Day selection was
Art.
oh, but my favorite of all time, of course, is
Black Betty.
here it comes. Get ready for it. Can't do it. I can't give you all. We don't have the rights to any of this music. We're not supposed to be playing most of this stuff, and they're really pushing the limits tonight with Led Zeppelin.
Yeah, we have. I didn't even think about that. Who?
See how funky that is.
Top 5 underrated band if you really think about the catalog of the Who.
Mm-hmm.
Huge.
All
Got
the way
to
back
see
to
him
like
once, but too toast to
all the
really.
way back to like British pop music with Jack and some of those
Oh,
other songs.
man. Live at Leeds, one of the first, it was a cassette, but that was one of the things you had. Live at Leeds, the Who. We're an American band.
That's right. Yeah, one of my favorites.
Yeah, the Who is.
Leonard Skinner. Yes, Leonard Skinner.
Good stuff, yeah. See, you picked it right here. Yeah.
I wouldn't know that one.
He hit the wrong era.
Well, see, that's no way. This isn't 1980s
Sabbath.
heavy metal, and they have War Pigs in there for 1980s heavy metal. That's wrong. I'm gonna write a letter because that's definitely 1968.
War Pigs? What? No, it's later than that.
No, War Pigs. Paranoid is like 68 or 69.
I actually did War Pigs at the Milwaukee State Fair with 3 other cats.
In 1970.
Yeah. 70, really? I thought it'd be even. Yeah.
I mean, Sabbath was in there real early, right? At the same time that the Grateful Dead were producing their first albums, and Led Zeppelin produced their first album.
That's one of my favorite. I love Sabbath War Pigs. I love that album. Great album. I
Yeah.
like music, but that's a really good album.
Oh, this is a horrible list.
Yeah, no, it's not.
No, this is kind of a horrible list. I never know much Dokken. I never listened to much Dokken.
Wrong era. But it's not the. Well, we'll see.
But I could go back to something like this.
Yeah. Pretty Woman.
Van Halen.
No. Roy Orbison. Don't go. Yeah. Keep it in my ear. I told don't. But we're gonna stop it.
What is your era? Your era goes all the way back to the early 60s. Is that... Well, let's like the 19. Here we go. This is the one that'll have more variety playlist in here. I'll skip ahead for your sake.
That's a tough one. That's a good one.
Redbone, very
Yep. That's a tough one. I gotta
Yeah.
write that down because that's funny that because got the earth move under my feet. Red. Okay. And I'm writing it with a red pen. Oh, that's weird.
We took Eric Carpenter back to the high school days. Now we keep bouncing around. That might have been during the 1980s metal, whatever I was on that list. My search history here is sort of interesting now.
Yeah, it's funny. I'm in a good mood on a Thursday. Day off today and a weekend off for snowshoe. And... Rush. Police. You're in the bathroom.
My
Please
favorite
don't
right there.
English beat.
Yeah. So yeah, we're just playing through the old hits tonight to see what we can see what I don't have in my playlist because a lot of these are not my playlist.
Hit me, coach. No, oh, it's the Stone.
Close enough.
I know. It's the Clash.
If I keep pulling the Clash and you can't get it, we're gonna have to do a different show, you know.
Hey, relax.
Anyway, so that's our little our trivia section for the night. I don't think I can take it much deeper than that. You did good. You scored 100%, except for maybe 2 or 3 answers, so that'd be more like 97%. You get your check will be in the mail for your winnings.
Oh, thanks, Teach.
Yeah, I forgot you're an unpaid intern. That's right.
I am just
Al Stewart, she says. That's a good Al Stewart. Haven't heard that name.
I
for a
love
while.
Al Stewart. I walked in, and there's another story. I walked in, I was at South by Southwest in Austin, Texas years ago, and you could get to walked into a bar and there was the Go Ahead band. It was Bill Kreutzmann band. And then I walked in the next bar, get special and a band and just question mark, and it was Al Stewart. You're the Cat. Cranked this up. Great song. Great song.
I like Al Stewart. I do. I also like
Big time.
I was thinking about another person I was checking out this week that I like a lot is
Man, I got a lot of stories, don't I?
man, music. Yeah, it's everywhere.
Yeah.
Is there any
Morgan-
story you don't know if you can tell or not, but we should tell anyway?
What is there to hide? As long as you tell the truth.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I surely try to do my best at that whenever I can.
Yeah, whenever I can.
Best, it's the smartest way to approach life in general.
That's the
Just,
smartest way. Doesn't always
Oh,
happen that way,
the
but
name I was
try your
thinking about
best.
was Gordon
We
Lightfoot.
try better than your best, though.
Like if you go back to something that's
Keep writing. I'm thinking. I'm writing, jotting. Oh, yeah. Gordon Lightfoot.
yeah. Says I like 7 songs by Gordon Lightfoot. I dig that. 1970s road trip.
Killer.
Oh. So how much music can we store in our heads? How much music can we actually have in there? How many songs do you think are in your head that you, when you hear the song start, you know the song?
Well,
It could go on for days and days and days. All these introductions immediately draw you to a place in your mind where the rest of the song is sitting and waiting. I mean, every one of these on this list is like,
James Taylor.
and you're close enough, but no, that wasn't James Taylor.
Dr. Mott. No?
Think of piano.
Doctor, my eyes
James Taylor.
And his name is Jackson Brown.
Oh, that's right.
But that's okay. I won't hold that one against you. That's almost AM gold. So think about that for a minute though. Just the music the radio's given us, just the music the radio's fed us all our life, that are so important songs. There's so many songs, and they all have a place inside of our brain. Every one of these songs has a place in our brain, and will always be there, forever. I could do this for 1,000 songs, and I bet you all these songs, it's all in there, okay?
Warren Zevon.
Now I'll give you your James Taylor. But all these songs, they're so stuck in our brain.
Well, the reason they are to a point. Young American.
Yeah. To sit down and think about like how many songs are in there is mind-boggling. Literally mind-boggling.
Well, because people back in the day, your age and a little bit before you, had limited options. Nowadays, they don't listen to a radio where you hear multiple songs in multiple times. Now it's just one band and that's it. Or you dial into a satellite.
It boggles my mind to think about how many songs I've put inside my brain that are in there that are important to me, and how many songs I've heard, and how important music is in general in the course of my life, and I get to the end of this life, I'm still adding songs all the time. The stuff that I added a song this week that's by Sergil Simpson I never heard before, and maybe people had heard it, but I hadn't heard it.
Yeah, right.
No, that's not it at all. The song I had this week is a Sergil Simpson song, and I listened to the record and I was like, I think that's my favorite new album right now. It's so I'm putting songs into my head still, but the old ones don't get pushed out. The old ones don't go away. That's the thing. They don't go away. You always have it in your head. It's amazing to me. It blows the mind. It boggles the thinking.
When I hear jazz and orchestra music and Neil Diamond, which I grew up on from my dad, I love that stuff. I'll put on the jazz radio and I'll put on orchestra music, and I almost like a marching. I like that stuff. It's technical. It's precise. It's pretty cool.
Somebody says we should do alphabets in ABCs of animals. The animals?
Who said that?
Chris Johnson said it. All you have to hear is the first few notes. You know the rest of the song.
Walsh, yeah.
God, it's amazing.
Well, the point is, can you?
Could I sit down and think about it? Could I actually sit down with a typewriter
I do.
and make
I
a
do a lot.
list of all the songs that I know note for note throughout the course of my life? Through the radio, or through my dad's albums, or through my uncles listening to me something, or my friends listening to me something, or the live concerts we've been to, or the bands we've seen live. And we have a whole section in our brain that's just Chicago Farmer songs.
Yeah, I mean, it is. I was just putting up changing my living room with new paintings from John Griffin and artists that I know, and some of my stuff on the wall. And I had and moved that Chicago Farmer cracked album, and I just go, wow, you're in Key West, good, And I mean, I talked to my wall, like maybe you talk to your wall or see.
Comment just came through about radio and how when the DJ stopped being there, then the radio died, and the DJ wasn't there to talk about the music each time. And they're still DJs, but they don't really get excited about anything new or interesting. It's always about what they've been told to tell you they like. And back in the day, it was a little bit of that, but it was also a little bit the DJ said to like it,
Okay. Well, here's the point of that. I'm an old school. I am outside. I listen to WXRT. I don't put on. I listen to WXRT. So that is still old school, and they talk about the venue and where they play. So WXRT out of Chicago is the most.
I think you're a little spoiled as far as like being in Chicago. You've got a lot
and the
more
Wizard
radio.
and Megan's radio station. They talk. They have interviews. So that's old school. So I'm out of Chicago.
So,
I mean, but I understand what you're saying.
Do people listen to it? I mean, do kids listen to radio though? Do kids tune to a radio station and listen to a radio station very often? Unless it's a maybe something their friends talking to them. And a classic.
So, you know what? Here's the point. Before I take another break, I got to do something for like a minute. So here's my synopsis, and as the show gets, I get more direct. Our size of older people's brains of music are this big, and younger generations' brains of music are about that big. Really think about that, though.
Yeah.
They might. I'm not saying it. They might like hip hop or rap, but do they know anything else? We know rap, hip hop, and country. Our minds are that big. Theirs are real small because they're not in the real world. As they sit in their house and play in their computers and get smaller and smaller, their lives get smaller and smaller, and their music outlooks is very small.
They'll never understand that to get a cassette player and try to record a song that you're going to listen to that's going to come on the radio sometime today, and you wait by your radio with your cassette recorder, and you've got your fingers on the button, so when you hear those first two notes of the song, when you hear it start, oh shit, and you got to run over and push record.
Here, look at before albums. Here, I got stuff. We're going to go through a classic. Here's 45. Kids know Joan Jett and the Blackhearts. Remember? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
45s. We're gonna have a history lesson. Daryl Hall and John Oates.
It can go on for days, and it can go on. Every one is independently interesting. They're all different. But they're all in there, and there's no way that I'll ever get all these songs out of my head, or even if you sat and wrote them down. There's no struggle for music. There's no. They just don't make music like this anymore. They really do. And they don't, and they do, and they do, and they don't. I won't say that because when you're followed by Moonshadow and you're in the middle of an era where they made all the kids go to war and people who stayed here wrote these songs and they wrote the greatest music of all time. I don't know. I guess there's music still being written. I'm not going to say there's not good new music because there really is, but you got to have something behind it. When there's and when there's so much behind it, when there's so many bands, say there's 2,000 bands in Seattle and they all want to record an album that sounds good and you want to listen to it, but there's no time for everybody to listen to those 2,000 bands to find out who the best one is. So the radio DJ used to tell us, "Hey, check out this band I heard," and he would actually feed you good stuff. And some of it was fed to us like in a force feeding way where they were like, "You really got to listen to this again and again and again and again and again until you're over it," But even those songs are good. And if you set them down for a little bit, if you set the song down for a little bit and you come back to it and you give it another chance, another day, somewhere down the line, then that song that you might have not liked at all becomes just an amazing song. The twinkles and the chimes at the beginning of Blackwater, the walk into that acoustic guitar, the violin. That's pretty rare. And if it's made to be sold, then it's going to be made with garbage and the stuff they're going to feed you something that they think you already like. And most of the music that you get they say this is good automatically whenever they hand it to you is because it sounds like something else you like that was good. But just like AI artwork, we can talk about AI artwork for just a second because we're artists. And they can make some really great things with AI artwork. You can type in like Bart Simpson as a hot dog, and it shows you a painting of Bart Simpson as a hot dog, this beautiful portrait sort of masterpiece idea. But all those ideas that come from AI are based on ideas that already existed. AI is an idea that already existed. So the only new, fresh, real stuff that's going to happen now that you can create anything you want with a touch of a button, is the next idea that nobody's thought to put into the computer yet, that nobody's thought to make into something that AI can access. So if everything's on the internet, but you're still having ideas, we're still having notions, and as a human race, we have these giant communal notions where we all think the same kind of idea at the same time. And you say, "I got this idea for a movie," and you think about it in your head, and then you find that movie exists because somebody else thought about it. But AI, it's going to create movies and books and TV shows and series and speeches and test taking and all this stuff. But it's only based on the ideas we already have. And a lot of those ideas are good and they got us to where we're at. But there's a lot of new ideas, new ways of thinking that we need to focus on, we need to think about in the future. So I don't know, but music is important, and music has just so much to me. It just can't be something wrong with it. It's the most important thing. And when you're a little kid, when you're born, before you're born, you like music. You don't even know it. But, they put the headphones on your belly and you listen to the songs. But before that, there's even this beat that plays. As soon as you become conscious of life, you become conscious of your being, then you hear a beat. The heartbeat of your mother. And you start off for that first 9 months listening to that same album over and over and over again, your whole birthing part of your life, whenever you're being gestuated or whatever.
It stinks.
So you listen to music from the time you're conceived, basically, whatever that means. But so music's important. It's definitely one of my favorite things in the world is music. Brings me around, puts me down, picks me up, does whatever it needs to do.
100%.
I'm heavy now because the viewership's gone down. That's fine. We're
Viewership. What do we have? One?
For whatever it's worth. We have more than one, but one of them might be my phone over here on the side of the screen, the side of the desk. So I was looking at the side view.
Yeah, I had to go outside. My dog didn't want, it's snowing outside. We had to do a mini shovel and didn't want to come in.
Wow, snowing. Todd Whitaker was watching a minute ago.
Hey, Todd.
Carolyn,
yeah, your album's on the way. You should get it, man.
Yeah, the one he bought like a month, and you spent that money.
No, like 3 months ago.
Yeah, that we did.
Jesus.
Telling somebody about that event. That was fun doing that. Seeing the crowd kind of grow here, and the last one we had really was a good event. So there's a lot of music, and even if it was fed from the radio to us without our knowing, so we like this music, and we're always going to have it be part of our life. And
always going to have music.
I protested kind of music before that I thought I didn't like for a while, and then I go back to it and I like it more. It's weird, like how I treat music and how music treats me. And all of it, really, just anything that somebody does. If you record it, I always say if you paint a picture, it's a painting, and if you So if you've got, yeah. Hey, Marshall and Gracia, good to you checking in, bud. I see people logging in as they come in sometimes. Marshall and Gracia plays in a band. Well, right now he's playing with Colt Ball. He's doing some sitting in with Colt Ball. He's a bass player.
He was on our show. We have a show. Oh, that's crazy.
Bob Weir has an album called "Music to Be Born By," which is played when his wife was pregnant. That's cool. So music that you let your kid listen to when they're being born, or whenever it's an album. But Bob Weir has an album like that. That's great. I never knew that. And see, I'm gonna get it.
I guess why we know all those songs, you and me, and is because it was limited. It was an album or CD or a cassette, and nowadays, Lay Down Sally, and there's so much.
Yeah, we're definitely music brains. We
Whoa.
definitely are music brains, and there's no way we'll ever get away from that. That's fine. We can't walk away from that, no matter who you are. Which one? This is a song I really like.
NCC.
Climax Blues Band.
That's right. And
Kind of similar moment of
whoa.
Anyway, folks.
Todd Rundgren or Utopia?
No, it was Todd Rundgren. I saw the light. You're right away. Tonight's a throwback down memory lane. 144 shows in. We don't know what we're doing anymore, so we know gas. We didn't know we were going to do the show until a few hours ago. So this is more about me and Phil hanging out than you guys.
Right.
But it was a big week for things in the world, and you talk a little bit about it already. But we should probably bring up a little bit of some sports. So now we'll talk about the loss of sport, the morning after. So like now that you had your run with football, again this year the ball gets passed to you guys and you take it and you
Right.
spend this whole part of the year. You spent the whole last 5 months or whatever like getting jacked about the Vikings and the Bears and stuff,
Ooh,
But-
my team, the Vikings. We're not.
But now that it's over, how do you feel? Now that we're at the end of the football season again, and we have to wait for something else exciting to happen, how do you feel?
Well, I'm actually super psyched because I like baseball a lot. I love baseball, and it means springtime, and springtime means gardening, Chris Johnson, and it's a sign of growth, and it's they call it America's game, but whatever. It's baseball's coming up, and spring training batters and catchers and pitchers are reported to camp. Cubs look good this year. I know John's the state bird Cardinal fan, and that's about it. And if you're playing fantasy golf, take Max Homa. I picked him. Yeah, that's Peter Gabriel. And besides that, baseball, spring is in the air, even though it snowed here in Aurora, and we get a nice storm, and it's slick as son of a gun. And it's a beautiful thing to light a candle and watch a Phil and Jon Zone show and paint and sports. And the Bulls suck, and the Blackhawks suck, and the Bears are moving to Arlington Heights. And they might trade. They got the number 1 pick and a lot of money, and they might
Crazy,
trade
that new stadium in Arlington.
that. And that's about it for sports this evening.
Yeah, I agree. Well, for me, now that football's over, I get some of my friends back. They want to hang out with me again because I'm not a big sports fan and football fan. I don't follow teams or anything like that. In baseball, I like the Cardinals, but I don't follow them. I'm not gonna pay attention all year. Basically, what it comes down to,
Yeah.
A lot of people have that in them. I just don't have it in me. It's not in me. But when the sports season ends, it's morning in a way for them. I realize, that the big game's over and the commercials are done. Luckily, you can still watch the commercials until next Super Bowl. But there's Something about that week after when that changes, and then people come back to me, and I get to see my friends again, and we all get to hang out. And you hear that? You feel that? I feel it. Can you feel it? You ready? You know what it is? Yeah.
Afternoon delight.
Well, Sports Minute, folks. We get forced. Formula One starts in 3 weeks, says Eric Carpenter. So Formula One racing comes back. NASCAR guys are driving out there. They're ready to go. I know that March Madness is on its way, and you got baseball.
Yeah, March Madness. I forgot about that. That's a beautiful thing. It's not like the old days when nothing is, but yes, March Madness is coming up. Yeah, big time. Who brought that up?
Eric Carpenter brought that up.
Right on. Yeah, March Madness. Big fan of March Madness. Northwestern might make it. Well, I can go sports all day long.
3 notes. 3 notes on this one. 3 notes. That's all you get.
Elton John.
Yeah.
I know. Dude, I'm good.
This whole list. This is silly.
Yeah.
But I guess it kind of amazes me.
America.
It amazes me how many different ways you can play those 3 chords.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and make all this sound happen different for everything. You know, it's amazing. You know.
Yeah, I guess my brain. Going to you.
Yeah. I can't quiz you on this one anymore. If you do like 90s punk rock search or 80s punk rock.
Well, don't you're trying to stump me now. Don't just leave.
I'm trying to find something I would pick that I would know, you know. Well, like a lot of that's already is blacked out. So like,
you know, it is funny. Most of these bands you're playing, I've seen. No, I don't want. Yeah.
This one I would know right away. But you might not know them at all. See, there's not going to be a whole lot in this one that you know. No, you're not going to know a lot of these. How about the song called "John Wayne Was a Nazi"?
Kennedy?
We shouldn't talk about that because he actually was a Nazi.
No, you just.
I just saw a recent interview where he said they had the right idea.
I know it's not.
The Cramps. There again, that's my genre. You start playing off that list, I could tell you a whole bunch of them, like right away.
Well, it's one of my. I'm not gonna get this list.
Yeah, no, you're not.
Even though I seen the bands, because I seen the Cramps with the Damned, but was I really? I was at the Metro or the Double Door, and even they're downstairs playing pool or in the downstairs bar. So even though I was in the venue, the band was. What do you mean I see him?
And then if they're concerts, these bands that were punk rock bands, the concerts weren't great usually. Circle Jerks.
Oh yeah, been there. Yeah.
And you got the Dead Milkmen. We're trying to see how long it takes him to pinch our audio.
Do you ever send him the poster that he had downstairs?
Yeah, nobody has ever responded to what year it was.
Well, next time you come here, you grab that poster because it's just sitting on a wall.
Yeah, I know. It means a lot to me. It's important.
Well, then,
it doesn't mean a lot to me because
and it's yours.
Because I wasn't at the show, and for those shows for the old.
The color is fantastic on it too. I'm looking at it right now.
No, it's very important, you know. See, this is just gonna make me mad.
There's staples in it because I have about 150 posters put on walls instead of putting them under a mattress. I have enough. Chester, no. Laura, get him.
See, and then by the '90s, I wasn't listening to punk rock anymore because I look at the '90s
No.
list. I don't know. I know like
Do you have the time to
What, Green Day?
listen to me whine?
or anyway. So yeah,
Oh, my mom.
I think probably 1980s punk rock. Is that the one I just did?
Well, that's really not punk rock.
You think that with the 1970s punk rock though is
Well, it's yes. Yeah. Again, it's our opinion. Well, punk rock was everybody says it started.
Stooges. This is one of my favorite ones. The Stiff Lady Fingers.
Yeah, I got a poster up.
Yeah, folks, we're just listening to music now on our own accord. If you're still out there watching, that's cool. I love all the music from my whole life, really. I mean, honestly.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
You could pretty much just do that, and you're like, well, what band is that?
1, 2, 3, 4.
The freaking Ramones, man. They were best at counting out.
Yeah, if you really listen to them, man, and their songs were 2 minutes, maybe.
Tell him I'm gonna go see Muse.
How about this? See if this does this one.
What do you think about Muse, the band Muse? Yeah, I knew that.
I don't know that much about him. I don't know that much about him, honestly. If we get away with this tonight, if we were produced this show with all
Well,
these sound bites
dude,
in it,
you played a lot of songs. I think what's the seconds? 12?
maybe it's like it used to be like 6 or 8 seconds or something you could play
I
without
think it
getting
was
in
long.
trouble.
Is it that short?
Because I'm cutting just these little pieces of it. No, wait, no, this is better.
That's Flash. Just listen. Well, and you keep going, and how they offshoot and how they switch.
Totally switched it right there.
Yeah.
It's almost just
Right
like
there,
full
too.
stop. Let's go to my list. So tonight's really been a good night for but 70s punk rock. It doesn't really give me. It's only like 26 songs. That's. I mean, like I think about The Cure.
So now you like the Clash too?
Oh, you know what? I put alternative. This will give me a whole different list. 1980s alternative music. Now, then you've got a whole different genre. You know, which I think has got some of my favorite stuff in it. I liked all these genres. I went from genre to genre. I went from like one thing, and it led to another, and it led to another, and it led to another.
Oh, yeah.
It's a pretty good list. And then you get down to this song, which is okay. So you got like all these songs that are kind of like alternative music, and then you got
Ernie.
not alternative.
Oh.
That's no alternative to anything. That's exactly what it was on the radio. And I like this one.
Bruce Hornsby.
Yep.
Yeah, just go ahead.
Somebody who I heard on the radio and was fed me to, and here's MTV, you like Bruce Hornsby, you like Bruce Hornsby. And then when he started playing with the Grateful Dead, I was like, why do I know that name Bruce Hornsby? It's from the radio and TV. But then you really get to see how talented he was and what he could do with his keys. You know.
Yeah, I got to go to a show at Northwestern campus with Susan Vega. Our house.
You're not good.
Bruce Hornsby with Suzanne Vega, that's cool. No, Muse, I've never really listened to Muse too much. I can't tell you that I know any of their songs.
Yeah, you gave the thumbs down, and I gave the thumbs down too. And
I'm not. It's not thumbs down, Laura. Don't take it like that. I don't know enough about him to say that I'm gonna follow him or listen to him or. Ooh.
New Order.
Yeah, that would have been my gentle into electronic music for a little bit. You know, if I realized what
Yeah,
exactly
Joy
it was.
Division, New Order. I was in
Another
er,
great.
everybody says early. Every band is always the best stuff is early band stuff. Yeah, well, pretty much it is.
And when New Order was beginning of like keyboard based music and beats based
Right.
music, and then you've got the other band that really started it too, which was Tom Tom Club.
Oh yeah, we just played that. That's a fantastic last weekend. Yeah.
There's a great video of the Talking
Tina
Heads,
Wentworth and Chris Friends.
and then Tina and Chris take over
Want
the
to
stage.
have
and
some
David
fun.
David Byrne takes a
have
break,
some
and they play that
fun.
song, and just like the whole room goes crazy. And you think about like how
Yep.
that makes people feel
Here.
for time being. Or how about this band?
Stop.
In here.
Pixies. The Pixies.
Oh, the Pixies.
Yeah.
What? You like the Pixies?
I like to pick. I bet I can't.
Hi there, everybody. We're the Monogovas. We're going to sing about the Ice Cream Man for you. Well, now, Ice Cream Man, along my street.
I'm just starting to put the Jonathan Richman music into my brain. The Modern Lovers and the stuff that he did.
Jonathan Richman and the Modern Lover.
Really important, really important
They-
weirdo in music.
Well,
history.
where punk rock started was CBGBs, basically.
Was he
with
part
the
of the CBGB circle?
And that's how it's.
In
Didn't
America,
start-
maybe. In the USA.
One of my favorite bands, XTC. We're making plans for Nigel. Andy Partridge, I do believe, had a phobia where he could not play anymore in the band, and when he did, he played backwards.
Yeah.
Crowd. But Gary Newman.
These strange. Some of these songs that ended up on the alternative list are, I wouldn't consider them alternative, but they are. Moe's on here. So I don't know who made this list.
No, it won't make my
Promises
list.
by Naked Eyes. That's kind of alternative. General Public. YouTube, but maybe not this song. Yeah. And you got bands like
Psychedelic First.
Psychedelic
They,
Furs.
I've seen them in their Heaven, and they Pretty in Pink, Psychedelic
Yeah,
First, Pretty
yeah.
in Pink. What a killer gothic, killer deep song, man.
How many
Seeing
great
them live at the Metro, it was just the right time, man. I saw them with Peter Murphy. It wasn't Bauhaus, but it was Peter Murphy solo, which
how many great bands did you find because of movie soundtracks?
I'm trying to.
Like how many great bands did you find because of they were on a movie soundtrack? And then that turned you on to a band, or there was that's
Well,
a great
put it this way.
soundtrack. Pretty in Pink's a great soundtrack.
All right, put it this way.
The Specials.
Okay, put it this way. Again, I'm 60. I seen these bands. They weren't no soundtracks. And now when I'm 60, I'm watching movies. That band is a soundtrack. So put it that way. And who would thought this little punk band who I saw in a little bar is a soundtrack for a huge movie? That's what.
I get that. I went both ways because I would have bands that I love because of a soundtrack, and I had bands I love because I saw them on some late night talk show.
Commercials on news radio, or whatever. I'm like, it's the Clash or whatever.
Jewel.
What the hell did she came up with Jewel?
There's one for her Jewel.
Cranberries.
Close.
No, I like that stuff.
Yeah, it was. Listen, that's a good guess because when you listen to the Sundays, it was the Sundays.
Sundays. Love.
But the Sundays and the Cranberries were like the same year.
Yeah.
Both kind of had that same kind of girl singer, real acoustic sound.
See, I love that. It's so smooth.
About this one.
Yeah, I know.
Sorry, YouTube or MTV or whatever who has the rights to this shit. Echo and the Bunnymen, kind of a
Yeah,
short-lived.
they hang out in Chicago. I do believe. I gotta watch what, but I'm not gonna see. Yeah.
Well, we have to watch what we're doing because we're already bootlegging all the sounds. So
Yeah. Video killed a radio star. First video on MTV. Am I correct?
oh yeah, the Buggles, man, the Buggles.
Yep.
A band that had no idea how big they would be because of that being that first video, basically becoming. Yeah.
Was it 1984?
That's that album. Maybe.
Video killed the radio star. Hey John, 144 shows.
144 shows, people. You watched for an hour and 40 minutes, so you're into something here, and we're doing what we do. And that was the ABCs of kick-ass old songs we could find that got us going, you know? Now we could go into like this is I like this one's just called an alternative list. I got a lot of hearts on this list.
Yeah.
Oh, Amy just took the sound. She's listening to Katy Perry in the kitchen. So we're off for the music listen for right now. She just stole it from me. But if you know and you know, folks, and you're here because you know and you've been to the show, and we appreciate you coming to see the Phil and Jon Zone. I don't see us stretching out much more of your evening right now. You need to go make dinner for your kids and wake Grandma up and tell her that Jeopardy's over and do the things you gotta do.
Well, we didn't do the ABCs. That's fine.
Well, what do we do the ABCs about? We got time to do it. We got 20 minutes till 6.
I thought you
Got
were
plans tonight?
Showdown. She's.
You need to paint.
Yeah, I'm gonna paint. Yeah, Laura's showing the albums that I haven't been to the studio in a minute. Wow, look at this stuff. Punch Brothers.
Yeah.
You got Punch Brothers vinyl?
Show this one, Phil.
It's
Let me see that one.
Punch.
I like them a lot. Yeah, we saw them last summer. Oh, your artwork, yeah. And where's it from? It's not from Blue Ox.
Was that Blue Ox?
No, but they played at Blue Ox. That's the only time I've ever seen them was at Blue Ox.
I just put American Country Classical Chamber Music, which is their MO,
Okay.
and my Pink Panther.
So it was just for it wasn't for a particular.
And if you
event.
notice, I
So is
try to
that-
incorporate how many members in the band? 4, 1, 2, 3, 4.
So
So there's always the Woodstock Bird.
is it new art or old art? That's old art.
Yeah, I've been painting
Yeah.
a couple of
all of your art is old art now.
It's
old part.
phenomenal. Give me that piece of work.
Oh, Laura, those boxes of records that are sitting on your floor are there's so much amazing.
Yeah, she'll put in the
stuff in
attic.
there.
Save it.
Absolutely incredible. That's the ABCs of Phil and I and how we operate, folks. If you want to come to the after party, send me a message. I'll send you the link. But for now, I think we're just going to go hang out and do our stuff for the rest of the night, I think. And
Yeah,
if
I
you
got
catch- There's no guarantee you'll catch us next week or any week for that matter, but you might. So keep your
Go to Snowshoe, you'll see me, or go to Cluster Pluck
Cluster
and
Pluck,
Sunshine Daydream and see John.
keep saying still shine, but it's cluster shine.
Cluster Shine.
Cluster sunshine pluck. Anyway, shine pluck. I call it pluck shine. That's what I call it. But it's not still shine. So anyway, don't listen to me, folks. Have a good night, and we'll talk to you all real soon.
Peace.
And we'll see you next week, possibly. Actually, we got to do the outro. Hold on.
Okay, that's fine.
Because it makes you laugh whenever you get to that part where you
And love you, John.
We'll get our
Love
painting
Phil
going
and
here.
Jon Zone, and signing off.
We can do whatever we want.
It's the Phil and Jon Zone. we can do whatever we want.
You gotta keep.
I'm out here.
I gotta
I'm
get some more
going
clips
to,
of us.
Yeah, that was a bit. Don't
this time
do
for
that.
Phil and Jon Zone.
That was one of the best shows we ever had.
Much love, peace.
Just give me some outro music.
Time light some candles and paint, boy.
Send me a
Yeah, get some paints together. I'm gonna see when we eat something here. I'll be
No hurry, but I'm gonna.
with commentary that's rich.
serious about the after party, folks. If you want to come and hang out with us after the show,
2017. It's not finished.
It is.
maybe I'll just put the link in the feed, and you guys can come in if you want to come in. If you don't want to come in, don't come in.
Your magic beam.
Yeah, it's finished. It's not finished.
Bill and John Show, send me a dream. Bill and John Show, brought to you by Phil
Get ready, Phil.
and John.
Yeah, that's a hit.
Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, thank you. Let's go out there. Let's go get him.
So, John, I will try to get you a receipt